In this video, I am going to show you all the steps required for a system administrator to install and configure the PostgreSQL database. So, topics we'll cover in this video are: what is PostgreSQL, installation of a PostgreSQL, how to start PostgreSQL service and check service status, PostgreSQL server setup, PostgreSQL connectivity from client server, managing firewall rule to allow Postgres traffic from client server to the database server. So, now what is PostgreSQL? PostgreSQL is an advanced enterprise class open source relational database that supports both SQL and JSON querying. It is a highly stable database management system backed by more than 20 years of community development. Now in this video, we will take one database server, another is a client server. In database server, we will install the PostgreSQL database and we will configure the database. And from the client server, we will try to connect the client to the database server using the port 5432. So for this requirement, we will take a database server with OS RHEL 8.5 and application server will be CentOS Stream 8. Let's start the video. And if you are new to my channel, please subscribe my channel and don't forget to like, share and comment. We have taken two servers here. One is RHEL 8.5 server, another is a CentOS server, and we will try to install the PGSQL in the RHEL server. And after installation, we will try to connect from the client server also. So to install the database, you have to use the command yum list postgres star. Here you can see all these packages are available here, and you can also notice that these packages are coming from the DVD upstream. This is the local repository I have configured here. If you want to know how to configure the local repository using the DVD ISO image, I have given the link in the description section. Please watch that so that you can understand how to configure a local repository using the DVD ISO image. So here we will install the package yum install PostgreSQL and PostgreSQL server. Press Y here. Now PostgreSQL package installation completed. Now we'll check the service status. System.sql status PostgreSQL service. You can see PostgreSQL service is not started. Now try to start the service. You can see service is failed and not started. So here some error is also there. Now we will check the log for the details. You can see user bin PostgreSQL hyphen setup hyphen initdb. That means the where live PGSQL data is missing or empty. That means this directory is missing and the PGSQL application database is not initialized. So what we will do, we will run this command to initialize the database. Press Q here. Now run the command to initiate the database. Database initialize completed. Now check the status. Start the service and check the status. You can see service started. Now, as we know, PGSQL service runs with the port 5432. Now, try to telnet localhost 5432 connected. That means it is working. Now check with the IP address, because whenever we will try to connect from the other server, we have to use the IP address. So IP address will be 192.168.47.130. You can see through IP address it is unable to connect to the database server. For that we have to change the configuration of the PGSQL. Now try to find the PGSQL configuration file location using the find command. Find / minus name pg underscore hba. Please remember this file name. You can see this is the path of the PGSQL configuration file. Now go to the path using cd command ll. Here we have to open the PGSQL.conf file using the vi command. Now go down and you can see listen address localhost. Here copy this line, go to install mode, remove the hash, and here replace localhost with the star. Save the configuration file, come out and restart the PGSQL service. System.ctl, restart PostgreSQL service. Now check the status. It's running. Now again telnet using the IP address. Localhost is connecting. Telnet using the IP address. It's also connecting. So now from the server side, installation is complete and the configuration is also complete for the listening from the localhost and the local IP address. Now we will try to connect from the client server. It is a client server. It's a CentOS machine. What we will do, we will try to telnet from this server to the PostgreSQL server using the telnet command. Telnet IP address 192.168.47.130 and port is 5432. You can see connect to address no route to host. That means firewall is blocking the PGSQL traffic. So what we will do, we will check the firewall service here. System.ctl status firewall D. It's not running here in the server side. System.ctl status firewall D service. You can see firewall service is not running. So what we will do, we will temporarily stop the service. Now check from the client side. Telnet again. You can see telnet is completed. So now what we can do, we will enable the firewall and try to add the port in the firewall, and we will try to allow the firewall PGSQL port in firewall. So start the firewall service. Service started. Now again check from the client side. Same error. That means firewall is blocking to the PGSQL traffic. Now in server side, we will allow the PGSQL port in server firewall. So for that, we have to use the command firewall cmd firewall-cmd -list -all. It will show all the allowed ports in the firewall. You can see here no ports are allowed. Now what we'll do, we will allow the port using the firewall-cmd command. Firewall-cmd add -port is equal to 5432/tcp, then permanent. It will add the 5432 port in permanent basis. Sorry, we have entered the wrong slash here. Now check the firewall-cmd -list all. Firewall-cmd array load reload and check the list. You can see port is started showing here. That means 5432 port is allowed in the server firewall. Now try to telnet to the server again. Firewall from the server side started allow the PGSQL traffic from the client side. In my case, only Firewall service is running in the server, and in client side Firewall service is stopped. If in your case both side Firewall is running, then you have to follow the same procedure for the client side Firewall. Till now, what we have covered, we have installed the PGSQL database in database server, also initialized the database service, made some basic configuration change to listen the port 5432 with localhost and IP address. Also, we have added the PGSQL port in database firewall service. Also, we have allowed the traffic from the client server to the database server, modifying the firewall configuration. So, what we will do now, we will try to connect using the PGSQL user from the client side to the database server. For that, we have to use the command PSQL -h. H means host, that is the client database server IP address 192.168.47.130 minus P means port 5432, then minus U, sorry, minus D. D means database Postgres, minus U, user means user Postgres. Press enter here. So what you can see, PSQL fatal, no pg_hba.conf entry for host user Postgres database Postgres. That means in pg_hba configuration file, we have not allowed the traffic from the client server, that is 47.129. Now we will modify the PGSQL HBA configuration in database server. We are now in the path var leave PGSQL my /data. Here you can see PG_HBA configuration is here. By VI. Now modify, edit the PG_HBA configuration file using the VI editor. Go down. Here you can see some rules are here to allow the traffic from the client to the database server. Here you can see only localhost is allowed, that is the 127.0.0.1. We have to add a entry here. Now 1 YY and P. That means we have copied one line and add that line here. Change it to global. That means go to the insert mode using the I button. Then 0.0.0.0/0. What I have done here, we have allowed the all traffic. That means 0.0.0 means we have allowed the traffic from any IP address. Now let it be indent. Save the configuration file and restart the PGSQL service. Now try to connect from the client side again. You can see authentication failed for user Postgres. That means Postgres user with password Postgres is not valid, because just we have tried the Postgres user with the Postgres password, but we are not sure what is the password for the Postgres user. That's why it is giving the error. Now what we'll do, we will create a user in Postgres database server, and we have also created a database for that user in the PGSQL database. For that we have to use the command sudo -u Postgres SQL. Now press L/L. You can see it is showing the list of databases. Here you can see Postgres database is available. Now /du will show all the rules. That means Postgres user is also available. Postgres user is available. Postgres database is also available. But I have used here Postgres user and database, but we don't know the password for the user. Now what we can do, we can add a user, we can add a database. We also provide the permission to that user to the database, and using that database, we will try to connect from the client server to the database. Open another session to the database server. Here open the pg_hba vi var lib PGSQL data pg_hba.conf. Go down. Here what we can do, here we will change from indent to trust. Save the configuration file, restart the PGSQL service. Now try to connect from the client server. You can see now I am able to connect to the PGSQL server. So what I did, here I have changed the indent to trust. That means whenever I will try to connect from the client server to the database server, it will not ask me the password. It will allow me to log into the database server. Now we will modify it to from trust to MD5. Means it will ask me for the password, and if my password is correct, it will allow me to log into the database server. Now restart the PGSQL service. Go to the PGSQL prompt. Here change the password for the Postgres user. We have to come out from the PGSQL prompt. Here give q, go out, then try to log into the database server using the parameter w. W means it will ask me the password. The password here you can see now it is started working with the proper password. Again, what we will do, we will create a user and we will create a database. Then we will assign the permission to the user to that database, and we will try that. To create a user, we have to use the command create user, let's say Raj, with password Raj, and the role will be createDB. Change the name to the lowercase, sorry, create, role created. Now we will create a database. Use the command /du. You can see Raj user is created here. Okay. Now what we'll do, we will create a database. Create database MindDB. Let's say MindDB is the database. Database is created. Use the command /l to show the database. So you can see MindDB database is created. Now what we'll do, we will give permission to the user to the database using the command grant all privileges on database MindDB to Raj. Permission granted. Now L, here you can see database name is MyDB, and you can see Raj user is showing here. That means Raj user have the permission to the MyDB database. Now go to the client server. Come out from the SQL prompt. Now here modify DB to Raj. MyDB, sorry, DB to MyDB. User should be Raj, and -w means it will ask me for the password. Okay, we have already given the password Raj. Provide here. Now you can see Raj is able to log in to the database server using the password. This is all about the PostgreSQL. Also, we have completed the video. Friends, what we have learned in this video? We have learned how to install the PostgreSQL package in a RHEL server, and the steps will be same for the CentOS also. Also, we have learned how to initialize the PostgreSQL and start the PostgreSQL service, how to modify the Postgres configuration to listen over port 5432 and to listen from the local host. Also, we have modified the PG_HPA configuration while connecting from the client server to the database server. Also, we have learned how to change the password of the PostgreSQL user and how to create a user in PGSQL, and using that user, how you can connect from the client server to the database server. So friends, if you are new to my channel, please subscribe my channel and don't forget to like, share and comment. Thanks for watching.